Everyone loves a reformer. You know the type. Outsider, fighter, plain-spoken guy who looks you dead in the eye and says the system is rigged. And he's the one to fix it. Feels good to hear. Feels necessary. So you hand him the keys. And for a minute, sometimes a long minute, it looks like it's working. Then something shifts. His guys fill the offices. The contracts go to his friends. The crackdowns land on his enemies, not the corrupt. And you're left thinking, wait, wasn't this exactly what he said he was fighting? Sound familiar? We've done this before, almost beat for beat. 2,000 years before your news feed started making your head hurt, a Roman general named Gaius Marius ran the same play. And the way it ended should make you very uncomfortable. Here's what happened in Rome, starting in 107 BC, and what it predicts for today. Marius wasn't born into the Roman elite. That's the whole point. He was from Arpinum, a provincial town. New money, rough edges, a soldier's calluses. The Senate, those old marble column families who'd been running Rome like a private club for centuries. They looked down on him. So he looked right back and made that contempt into a campaign. He called them out by name. He mocked their inherited titles, their soft hands, their losing wars. He told the Roman people, the actual people, not the toga crowd, that the Senate had been selling out Rome for generations, that the military was broken because aristocrats bought their commands, that the whole system needed to be gutted and rebuilt. The crowds went absolutely wild. He won the consulship in 107 BC, the highest office in Rome, running almost entirely on the promise that he was not them. Then he did something genuinely radical. He reformed the Roman army, opened it to the landless poor, armed them from state stores, and reorganized the legions into the fighting force that would conquer the known world. Legitimate reform, real results. But here's where the story gets slippery, because the results made him untouchable. He won 7 consulships. 7! The legal limit was 1, with rare exceptions. He just kept going. Each crisis, the Germanic invasions, the social war, the chaos bubbling up from every corner of the Republic, became a reason he specifically was needed. The system bender became the system, and the offices he'd promised to clean up, he started filling them himself. Not with reformers, with loyalists. His ally, Lucius Appius Saturninus, rammed legislation through the assemblies using outright mob violence, beating opponents in the street, using armed gangs to clear opposition voters from the forum. Marius watched. He'd built his entire reputation on being the man of the people, the enemy of elite manipulation. Now he was the manipulation, just louder and angrier. When Saturninus went too far by starting a full insurrection, Marius reluctantly crushed him, his own creature. But notice what he didn't do. He didn't reform the system that made Saturninus possible. He didn't dismantle the machinery of intimidation. He just redirected it. By the time Marius marched his army into Rome in 87 BC, he no longer looked like a reformer. He looked like every aristocrat he'd ever condemned, just angrier and holding a sword. He spent his final consulship, his 7th, purging political enemies, heads on spikes in the forum. The swamp he'd promised to drain was deeper than ever. It just had his name on it now. He died 17 days into that last term. Some said of drink, some said his own nightmares. Rome, generous in its chaos, gave him both. Map that onto today. It fits like a glove you'd rather not put on. The outsider candidate whose entire brand is contempt for the establishment. The genuine early wins. The things that make supporters say, See, he's different. The slow replacement of institutional critics with personal loyalists. The democratic norm bent once, then twice, until bending it is just Tuesday. The enemies list that keeps growing. And the original corrupt. The swamp, the deep state, the old boys, somehow still there. Now just sharing space with a new set of cronies who got their jobs through proximity to power rather than competence. The playbook is identical. The rhetoric of the people, wielded as a tool to concentrate power away from the people. Here's the insight that gets lost when we tell this story as biography. We treat this as a character flaw. Marius got corrupted. This politician got greedy. If only we'd picked a better man. But that's the wrong lesson. And it's the lesson that keeps getting us killed. The swamp isn't a collection of corrupt individuals you can replace. It's a structural incentive. Power without accountability rewards loyalty over competence, cruelty over deliberation, urgency over rule of law. It doesn't matter if you walk in clean. The swamp doesn't care about your intentions. It just offers the same deal it offers everyone. Compromise here, and you can keep going. Compromise there, and you can keep winning. By the time you realize you're swimming, you've forgotten you ever promised to drain. Marius didn't fail because he was a bad man who pretended to be good. He failed because he was a good man who thought willpower could substitute for institutional constraint. It never can. It never has. The reformer who dismantles the rules to beat the corrupt becomes structurally the corrupt. Every single time. Which brings us back to your news feed, your town, your particular swamp draining moment, wherever you are in the cycle. The question isn't whether the man promising to clean things up means it. Marius probably meant it, at least at first. The question is, what structures exist to hold him to it when meaning it stops being convenient? If the answer is just trust him, Rome would like a word. If you want to know which modern power grab rhymes with which ancient collapse, subscribe and drop in the comments what should we rhyme next.